Mr. Dunn, we're rolling. I appreciate you stopping by, brother.
Thank you, bro. Happy to be here. Pleasure.
I've been following you a long time. I really enjoy your stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate the support, man. It's been a wild ride and super fun. To be honest, man. It's been a huge blessing.
Yeah, without question. I want to I know a little bit about your background, kind of the story that led up to where you are now, but can you dive a little bit deeper into that because I think there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. So the whole internet thing, man, is still very new to me. I've only been like super active on Instagram for about a little more than 2 years now. So social media was not like something I really did or participated in prior to that, outside of just like sharing the occasional photos of whatever we were doing. I was always kind of that that knucklehead that I'm like, I don't want people to know where I'm at or what I'm doing. I'm not going to share any of this stuff, but um, spent most of my adult life working as a mechanic. So 10 plus years turning wrenches. That was like my first like real like career and thing that I did for money that I enjoyed, at what I would consider a professional level. Started off, as like a little shop dog, pushing a broom, doing oil changes and shit at like 20 years old. And worked my way up to, a fully operating, technician at a European auto shop specializing in like Porsches, Audis, Mercedes, stuff like that. Um, Basically, was doing okay, and then needed to start making some more money, providing for my firstborn son a little better. So I went to a union job, chased pipe for a while, was doing that whole gig, and that was fun. The money was good, and met some great people, but I was never fucking home. You know what I mean? So was always out on the road, always out of town for work and shit like that, and that only lasts so long when you're trying to, raise kids, have a family, etc. And then, yeah, man, and that kind of bumps into where we were just kind of talking. Like I grew up in Southern California, Orange County, and right about that time from transitioning out of kind of some of that oil field pipeline work is when I moved up to San Luis Obispo. Orange County kind of burned my bridges there in a sense. You know what I mean? I burned the candle at both ends and was getting in trouble, getting arrested every couple of years, getting in fights all the time. So I'm like, dude, I need to get the fuck out of here and kind of just start over somewhere else and separate myself from a lot of the things that I do and know here. And that's basically what brought me here. Is I met my current wife here in San Luis Obispo. Really liked the area from spending 6 months here on a job, and decided to just start over here. Moved out to a little place way out in the countryside, wonderful little town called Creston, and lived in a fucking single wide trailer on 27 acres for like 6.5 years. And then got into the fire service because when I turned 30, I was like kind of debating like starting my own mobile mechanic business and like getting into the fire service because I was kind of tired of working for somebody else. I wanted to do something that was like more purposeful, more than just like bigger than just me, you know what I mean? And I had always looked at the fire service as something that would be like super fucking fun, you know what I mean? And almost every fireman I had ever talked to or met, like they always, dude, I love my job, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I want to fucking love my job too, you know what I mean? Like, I want to love what I do every day, you know what I mean, for an extended period of time. So I kind of did both, you know what I mean? I pulled my box from the auto shop I had been working on at the time. Basically built a back. I had a Tahoe at the time, and I built like a box in the back of the Tahoe so I could do mobile repair. Brake jobs, belts,
Mm-hmm.
spark plugs, shit like that. Just little quick, something easy I could bang out at somebody's house or in the driveway or at my place. And was doing that to kind of facilitate myself, like after I'd gotten back from, getting my EMT, doing my fire academy and making those commitments. Cause I was like, well, I can't necessarily go back to working full time as a mechanic because I'll never continue to pursue this. So I was doing those little odd jobs, running around town, working on people's cars, Got picked up in the county here working at 3 different departments part-time, and kind of basically got my shoe in with CAL FIRE, and then worked at CAL FIRE for the last several years. And it was fun, man. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Super, super great experience. Got nothing bad to say about it. And it helped me, develop a lot of the discipline and the structure that I now basically thrive off of. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of running amok for a long time, and just doing kind of whatever I pleased. Went from basically having a ton of structure and discipline as a younger man playing sports to having none, because sports were basically removed from my life in a sense, and fell off into the party scene, drinking, drugs, getting in trouble and shit, and then obviously recommitting to that lifestyle, that structure, that purpose, helped me really get my life kind of back together in a sense. And then once again, kind of out of necessity, was having another kid with my wife, our now 2-year-old daughter. And wages with CAL FIRE, aren't the best at a firefighter level. It's basically minimum wage and really tough, arduous work with some pretty heavy scheduling as far as like through the spring and summer and even into the fall. And I was like, I need to do something else. I need to add something to the plate. And basically, I'd seen a lot of the online coaching stuff kind of get prevalent, and I'm like, what? I could do that. It seems like something I'm very interested in. I have a pretty extensive background in like fitness and health and nutrition. It's always been something I've been super passionate about. I just need to kind of learn how these guys are doing it and get my name out there. You know what I mean? And started Reliant Fitness sitting at the firehouse kitchen table. You know what I mean? Like fucking made the Instagram, started posting workouts and stuff like that, getting, slowly building a client base, and just basically teaching people the things that helped me really turn my life around, paying attention to certain foods I was eating, training with intent, living with purpose, and removing bad habits from my life and basically backfilling them with positive habits that were going to push my life forward and help me generate like a large amount of very positive momentum. And that's kind of what has brought me here today. Now, my page, Reliant Fitness, has, 750,000 followers, close to 1 million followers across all platforms. And it's a 7-figure business, almost a multi-7-figure business at this point.
Is that wild to you, saying that out loud? That last part?
It's fucking crazy.
What was that?
It's fucking crazy, bro. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even feel real most of the time. You know what I mean? But it is very real. And it's been a huge blessing to build something that's powerful and meaningful and successful, basically by helping people make those big changes in their own lives. You know what I mean? Whether it's physical, mental, financial, or everything in between, or just getting people sober. That's been a big part of some of my programming, because that's something I talk a lot about on social media is getting clean, dropping drinking, quitting. Not that I was ever like a heavy drug user, but I was definitely dabbling. If it was there, I was probably fucking doing it. And helping people basically, once again, create better habits for themselves, create a positive routine, and bring structure back into their life.
Is that what you were getting arrested for back in the day? Was drugs, or what was it?
Mostly like fights. Got a couple DUIs. I never got any drug charges, but there were definitely stuff with drugs that were involved where I could have easily got rolled for years, and fortunately never did. I got very lucky multiple times with a lot of different things.
Yeah, I just asked that, dude, because a lot of my people have struggled with something in the past, and it's always nice to see somebody that is excelling and really living their best life and building a business that has came from kind of that, negative life at one point in time. So I appreciate you sharing it. I know it's not maybe the easiest thing to say. I mean, you got hundreds of thousands of people that watch you and listen to you and look up to you. So I think it's an important message to share. So good on you.
Absolutely, man. Because it's like a lot of people quietly struggle with it. You know what I mean? They don't
Right.
vocalize it, and I didn't even realize how monumental my problem with alcohol was until I stopped drinking. You know what I mean? And then I basically saw what life looked like without it, and I'm like, man, like I I was in a bad way. Like I couldn't
Hmm.
go, I wasn't the everyday drinker with the shakes by noon if I didn't have something, but I was fucking, when I was drinking fucking heavy. And, if I was out and about, I was usually doing something that was no good. You know what I mean? And that was a very normal thing for me for years. You know what I mean? And getting thrown in jail, paying bail, showing up to work again the next day was fucking normal. And that's not normal. You know what I mean? Like that's not any way to live, especially when you're like getting into your fucking 30s and you have kids. You know what I mean? And I was still, a young father when my son was born. I was like 25. Um, I had just lost my dad 2 weeks after my son was born, so that was a major contributor to some of my malicious behavior at the time. But it was all I knew how to do was basically bury my pain and my suffering in alcohol and drugs and reckless behavior. You know.
How'd you get out of that rut, man?
Um, it's gonna sound really fucking cliche and super simple, but I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Like I was struggling. Like I didn't have, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Like I said, me and my chick were living in a fucking single wide trailer. You know what I mean? Like nothing fancy, beautiful. I was paying child support. I was struggling. You know what I mean? And I basically was like, dude, I'm really fucking tired of feeling like this. I'm really tired of living like this. And I know deep down that like I'm meant for more, that I can do more. And I kind of sat down and examined, what I was spending on alcohol and cigarettes and fast food and going out to the bar. And I'm like, bro, if I fucking stop spending that money, like I could probably afford a lot more shit. I could probably reach a level of comfort in life where I wouldn't be fighting all the time, you know what I mean, or be stressed. And I would probably look and feel a lot better, So I just reached a breaking point where enough was enough, and I kind of just realized like I'd experienced everything that drugs and alcohol had to experience, and I don't need to do it anymore. I'd already rocked and rolled. I don't need to rock and roll
Yep.
anymore. I need to settle the fuck down. I need to get my wits back. I need to get my health and my fitness in order, and I need to get my mindset and my lifestyle right.
Yeah. Good on you. So when you started Reliant Fitness, how long did you dabble in both? Both meaning the FD and Reliant, and then when did you decide that, hey, I'm leaving the fire department, putting the mechanic stuff behind me, and we're just gonna go full send with Reliant?
So, let's see. Reliance started basically August of 2022. And I got laid off for that fire season probably mid-November. So what is that? September, October, November. So there were 3 months while I was still like full active duty. And then through the off season, I was working at my reserve station. So picking up, 24, 48-hour shifts periodically and still manipulating, the business end of it. And then, by the grace of God, unfortunately, by the time it was time to go back and rehire, in April, May, I had already generated a big enough business and a large enough client base to where I didn't really need to go back, but I wanted to. I was like, I wanted to do both. You know what I mean? So I went back to rehire. I went back and was still working and, on assignment. So working, 72 to 96 hours a week on average. And after, I'd say about a month of being back, I noticed that it was like really bottlenecking my business and like what I was kind of capable of giving my clients. And I decided to kind of just pull the trigger and be like, hey, like I'm going to take this season off and focus 100% on what I've built and what I've got going on. And hopefully it goes great and I never have to come back. And if it doesn't, I'll see you guys next year. You know what I mean? So I took a big chance with that. But like I said, I was already in a position where I was generating enough income, far more than Cal Fire would ever pay me. So I was kind of fortunate in that sense. But the off season, where most people are drinking, snowboarding, riding their dirt bike, you know, I'm building a business and raising a family, like, you know, 14, 16 hours a day, every fucking day, whether I'm at the firehouse or not. And it paid off. You know, it paid off big time.
Obviously, the income was a little bit better, probably significantly better starting out. But was there a moment in time where you're like, fucking A, this might actually really, really work? Like when going back to the FD was just totally disregarded when you're like, dude, I'm gonna do this full time. Like this is my baby. Did you ever have that moment when you're like, holy shit?
Yeah, and it took a little bit of an outside perspective to realize that. You know, because I was you know a good month from Cal Fire at a firefighter level. You know, is probably, you know, between 5 and 6 grand with a decent amount of overtime. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, fair living for most people, right? But in my current situation, I was like, it's not enough. It's not really cutting it. And when I started generating, you know, upwards of 20, 30, $40,000 a month for my own business, I was like, you know, once again, I wasn't really caught up in the money. I was like, for some, like we were talking about, man, it almost didn't even feel real. And then, you know, I was at a Mastermind event in Miami, speaking with, you know, several other entrepreneurs, high level guys that are way beyond where I'm at even right now. And they're like, so how much longer are you gonna do both? You know what I mean? Because at the same time, I was like, you know, I'm gonna do both. I want to do both. I want to be a firefighter and a coach. You know what I mean? And I was like, at that time, I said 5 years. And they basically were like, I would be surprised if you last another 5 months with the way that you're going right now. And he kind of broke it down to
Shit,
me in the
five
sense that,
days, maybe 5 hours.
yeah, you know, and he kind of put it into plain sense that I had never really thought about. He's like, well, how much have you made? How much did you make last month? And how much have you made in the last 3 months combined? And, you know, I was like, well, I did about 37 this month, you know, this past month, and over the course of the last 3 months, I've probably done well over 100 grand. And he's like, what the fuck are you still doing there, bro? Like you got no business there. Like you know, like if you're able to make that much money on your own doing it by yourself, then why the fuck would you go to work for somebody else who's going to tell you what to do, you know, basically 14 hours out of the day? And you're going to neglect your client base. Your growth is going to be stunted because you're focusing your time elsewhere. And I was like, holy shit, like you're fucking right. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of that little slap in the face that I needed to kind of like pony up and realize just how big my business could be. You know what I mean? If I was able to do those numbers while basically still working another job, like what could I do if all of my attention and all my time was 100% on me and what I was trying to do? And that was basically the defining moment right there. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back for, you know, a couple weeks, see how it goes, see if I have any trouble, any issues. And sure as shit, I did. You know, I had some friction from higher ups about some of the stuff I was posting on social media, some of the stuff that I was doing, and I'm like, you know what, like, I don't need to get shit from you about this. Like, I'm sharing positive message. I'm not putting a down play on the department. You know, if anything, I'm exceeding the standard on every platform. Like, I'm in great physical shape. I take care of myself. I train outside of the job. I don't show up to work like a fucking bag of shit. You know what I mean? And I'm out here trying to get people to better themselves, and you're going to tell me I can't do that? Fuck you. Like, with all due respect, fuck you. You know, and that was kind of
Absolutely.
like, I'm out. You know, I'm out. I'm not going to let you tell me what I can and can't do, you know, basically outside of of what's expected of me on duty, you know?
I knew this would be fun. I like you, man. You're a good dude. I think just like you. I knew this would be a good one. Where was I gonna go with that? You mentioned that you were at a mastermind in Miami.
Yes.
Obviously, brother, that's not free.
No.
That's not free, right? And you're surrounding yourself with people that, in your eyes, are head and shoulders above you, but where you want to get.
Yeah.
We preach that on here all the time, Brad, is you got to get around people that are better than you. You got to get around people that you can learn from. If you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the richest person in the room,
In the wrong
my
room.
dog, you need to find another room. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to find another room. Touch on that for me, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously that's still something that's kind of new to me, but like last year was a big year as far as that goes, like putting myself out there and going to some of those events, you know, because after the first one I went to, like I realized like how powerful it was to kind of get around some of those people, you know, hear how they talk, see how they operate, and just have like that energy exchange. You know what I mean? Like you go to those events, and whether it's a large event or something that's a little more secluded, like everybody that usually puts themselves in that situation is extremely hungry and extremely driven, you know, and you kind of just like feed off of each other in a sense, and you come off of that event and you're like fired the fuck up, you know, and you like go home and try to take on the world. And I love that, you know, like I was like, damn, like that was fucking sick, you know. And the money thing is like, obviously, yeah, people look at some of the price tags, you know, and they're like, no way would I ever spend that. And you just have to change your relationship with that money and be like, dude, this 10 grand, this 2,500, this 5 grand is going to make me 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, like getting around these people, like, and just unlocking one step of the process that might be having you hold up, you know, and somebody else who's fucking years ahead of you, or, you know, steps ahead of you in business, just fucking shares it in a conversation. You're like, holy fuck, dude. And that one piece of knowledge, that one little nugget that you got in a conversation can change the trajectory of your entire business in a matter of months. You know what I mean? Given you actually take action on it, you know what I mean? But that was like the thing where I'm like, dude, I need to go to these a lot more often. Like this is huge, you know, and building a network too, you know, like having people that you can reach out to in all areas and being like, okay, like, you know, hey, remember me? We chopped it up in Miami. Or hey, remember we were at that mastermind in San Diego? Yeah, you still got that business? Okay, let's collaborate and do something. You know, I got this now, or I got, you know, this kind of income. Let's talk about going into something together. Let's build something. You know, like, and that's just it's invaluable. You know what I mean? Like, and once again, the price tag and some of the things that go along with it will definitely separate the people who go and don't go. But there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who believe in themselves and want more out of life, and there's other motherfuckers that tell themselves they can't have anything because they're not willing to go the extra mile. They're not willing to work for it.
Yeah. I like this conversation because this field is new to me as well. You know, roughly 2 years, kind of like yourself, right? So we're both kind of finding our way. Obviously, you're scaling at an incredible rate, which is amazing. You're somebody that I follow very closely,
Thank you.
as I touched on maybe before we got online. But what I really, and I'm not trying to like pump your tires, dude. We're just talking shit. But what I really enjoy about your page and just kind of everything that you stand for is that I can tell that you're very authentic. Like you're not trying to put on a different face. When you go on your page, you're really not trying to sell people shit. It's not no get rich quick thing or let's get a six pack in 6 days. It's none of that shit. And that's how I try to build my business as well. And people notice that. They really see it, man. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you for obviously being yourself. And I'd ask you how you did it, but I know what you're gonna say. You're just you, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that kind of that X factor, right? Is you kind of have to be, you
Hmm.
just kind of have to be that person and have a little bit of that personality, you know. But you know, it just boils down to, you know, the basics, dude. You know, if you have good habits and a good routine and you develop a strong body, strong mindset, like you're gonna want to take on more, you know, because I mean, obviously we all deal with doubt, right? We all deal with fuck, dude, I don't know if I can do that or shit. Like that's a big speed bump or fucking brick wall to overcome. You know what I mean? But it comes down to daily wins, man. And that's like every time I do something that's going to push me physically and mentally further, I become more confident in my ability to take on larger risk and larger responsibility. And it's just, you build enough momentum through those things, and it's just like, what else can I do? What else can I accomplish? What else can I build? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, when I told them I was building out this gym, they're like, dude, you're fucking nuts. Like, you don't need to do that. And I'm like, I know I don't need to, but I want to. Like, it's something that's been on my mind. It's been a goal of mine. Like, I want to have my own space, and I don't even care about memberships or selling it out, dude. Like it's fucking mine. I get to invite people here. I get to train with people. I can film podcasts, do content, whatever. And not too many people have that. And I have basically my own clubhouse, in a sense. And it doesn't have to make sense to you. It makes sense to me. you know.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
But the authenticity thing does go a really long way, especially with social media, because there is a lot of fucking fake shit out there. And, people can see through it, maybe not always right away, but you can only fake the funk for so fucking long, dude. And I'm not a salesman. I've never coined myself a salesman, even though I'm good at selling what I do. But the thing is like, I live it every fucking day. So it's easy for me to sell. You know what I mean? And I know that my process and the things that I've basically packaged and deliver for most of my clients is extremely powerful when you choose to apply it and you choose to make it your lifestyle. So it's easy for me to talk about and be real about, and it changed my life profoundly. So I know that it can have that same effect on others, and it has. I've probably worked with thousands of people now, and hundreds of them have had a massive amount of success coming through my program, losing weight, getting sober, getting like absolutely fucking ripped, like it works if you work at it, you know what I mean? And you have to prioritize it and you have to want it. I can build you the sickest fucking race car and I can hand you the keys, but if you don't fucking drive it, it ain't a goddamn race car.
I love that quote, dude. It works if you work at it. Simple but
Absolutely.
effective.
Very.
Yeah, man. That's good. Listen, talk to me about earning your coffee. I know you're
Yeah.
drinking some right now, it looks like, but you earned it. I love that. I love that post. That shit gets me fired up every morning when I watch it.
Yeah, so earn your coffee is something I kind of started doing and do periodically. A big thing when I started getting up like really early in the morning, like 3 o'clock, 3:30, to kind of get rolling on my day. Because if I wanted to fit everything I needed to do, then I needed to sacrifice sleep. And if I was gonna do all my fire department duties, work on my business, do some social media stuff. Like I flat out, I had to start my day earlier. I had to create more time. And, obviously
Brad, not to cut you off, but can you say that again for the people in the back that you're going to have to sacrifice sleep?
you're going to have to sacrifice some sleep. If I'm gonna give up anything initially, it's probably going to be sleep, and I built basically my entire business and most of the man I am today operating on less than 5 hours of sleep on a very routine basis. You know what I mean? So the idea of getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep is a fucking luxury in most cases. And even now where it's like I need to slow down and maybe give myself some sleep, like I can't fucking do it. Like my mind is like, get the fuck up and go get something. But obviously, when you start getting up at those early hours, it's hard to get up. Like you're tired, you don't want to get up, your bed's warm, everything else is cold, this and that. So I would get up and I would immediately do some form of movement, whether it's push-ups, air squats, something, burpees, because as soon as I kind of got my blood rushing, I got my body warm, it was really easy to wake up. It was like easy to get the fuck after it from there. And so that's part of something I've always told my clients. I'm like, start your day with movement, start your day with a win. Because if you fucking, it's easy to fucking snooze your goddamn alarm. It's easy to sleep till 7 or 8 o'clock for most people, you know what I mean? But if you're getting up fucking early and you don't want to get out of bed, and you can get out of bed and bang out 50, 100 push-ups and maybe some crunches or this and that, like, you're going to feel good about yourself, you know? And that momentum is going to carry you through your morning into your afternoon, you know, and it's starting that day with an early victory over that weaker version of yourself, and putting a fucking score on the board. And it's something that I still do from time to time, you know, most mornings, where I get up and I do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 air squats. And that's my earn my coffee routine. But as of late, I've traded the air squats for some hip stretches, because those things are needed some attention. So
Yeah, that's good shit. Are you familiar with Alex Duenas? He's out of Miami.
God, if I saw a picture of him, I'm not familiar with the name, but if I saw a photo, I might recognize the face.
Okay, he's in our space, and he's big on the burpees too. There's a lot of guys in this space that are big on the burpees. Talk to me about the burpees, and how did you perfect that form, dude? I mean, they are crisp. You're throwing them down, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, the burpees, man, it's been a big part of kind of my growth. You know, that was like one of the things that I started really like pumping a lot on social media for a couple of reasons. You know, obviously I think that my form and my style stands out a little bit, you know, and then a lot of people's initial excuses with fitness has time and equipment. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you don't need shit for burpees, bro. Just get the fuck down and get up. You know, you can do it right where you stand. You need a solid surface and get to work. And you know, for you complain about time, do them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes straight, and you won't want to do anymore. I promise. You know, so burpees have always kind of been in my life, and it wasn't because prison or jail. You know, I know a lot of people make that stigma because
Hey, I wasn't thinking that.
not you, but I get it a lot on social media. Um, and it's just, you know, obviously white guy tattooed, you know, and some of the people that I ran with or used to be affiliated with same way, so they think it's a prison thing. Never been to prison, never done any extensive time in jail. It came from sports, dude. Football, we used to do up downs, burpees all the time. Fire Academy, we did burpees all the fucking time as punishment. And I wanted to, you know, basically get so good at being punished that they couldn't fucking hurt me. You know, like if I was super effective in that movement and I could bang out 50 or 100 at a time and basically sit there and fucking smile, you know, then they can't hurt me. You can't punish me for something that I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? And just kind of learn to like take that take that weakness that is most people's like dread and make it a strength. You know, and kind of stand there at attention with the smile on my face and same thing, fuck you, you can't hurt me. Like you can't touch me. And that was kind of it, you know, and then I started kind of putting it on social media as part of some of my routine or some of my training, and people were like, oh dude, what is this? Like this and that, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, I do it like this. And why? You know, for that exact reason. You know, it was in Fire Academy, dude, we got punished as a unit, you know, whether somebody fucked up or everybody fucked up, and I got tired of taking heat for other people's mistakes, so I'm like, I'm gonna just get really good at this shit, and it's not gonna matter anymore.
That's good shit. No, I like doing them too, just because they're terrible to do, right? Like, I'm not as efficient as y'all are, but I mean, when I do them, I feel them, dude. Like, I feel them bitches hard.
If you do it right, dude, it's a great workout, you know. And some people clown on it. They're like, oh, it's useless. It doesn't do anything. I'm like, go do 100 of them and tell me how you feel tomorrow, you know. And you know, do it with some intent. Like, do it basically until you feel like you can't breathe, and then stop. Take 30 to 60 seconds and continue. You know, and it was a big thing on social media too, because like when I was pumping a bunch of some of my burpee stuff early on, I was getting a lot of other people that would like send me their burpee videos or tag me in their burpee videos and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I came up with the payday thing. You know, like I'm like, well, dude, I can't spend all day every day reposting everything everybody tags me in or sends me because it's not to sound like an asshole, it's gonna flood my feed full of other people and not necessarily me. And I'm here to basically promote my business and my clients. So I basically developed Payday. I'm like, hey, Friday, 100 burpees minimum, and tag me in your burpee video, and I'll repost it on my page all fucking day long. And that shit spread like wildfire, and now, 2 years later, I got people all over the world tagging me in their burpee videos on Friday mornings or Friday afternoons, and it's super cool to see people participate literally all over the world. You know what I mean? From something that I just started doing for fun.
Speaking of your page, do you run that by yourself or you got a little help?
I run it by myself.
Yeah, I was surprised when I hit you in the DM and you got back to me basically like right away. I must have
Yeah.
just caught you at the perfect. I must have caught you at the perfect time.
I mean, dude, I'm constantly on and off Instagram screening messages because a lot of my business comes through Instagram. A lot of the people who sign up
Same.
for my coaching programs start through Instagram. So it's usually an initial message or question, you know what I mean? And I kind of pride myself on response time and tentativeness. And that's like where a lot of people are like, oh shit, this guy's actually fucking here and talking to me. Like, I'll sign up, you know what I mean? Like, because that's been a major thing with me too. Is like, there's other guys in the space that I even conversate with, through social media. But it's like if I catch them at the wrong time, like I get an automated message back, and I'm like, that's a turnoff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, if someone's signing up to work with me, I want them to know that they're working with me and not a fucking bot or an assistant, unless I make it clear like, hey, my assistant's going to be handling my messages for the next week, you know what I mean, or whatever. But people come to work with me, so I give them that.
Yeah, good on you. You mind if I actually I'm gonna wait on this and I'll get to this in a minute. But I know you're married, you got a couple kids. Do you draw that fine line with social media? Like, hey, is there a point in time at night where you just put the phone on the dresser, put it on airplane mode, or how do you disconnect from that and also, be a good husband and be a good father?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I need to work on that a little bit better. But it's hard,
Me
you know
too.
what I mean. But because same thing, like I'm basically operating this business almost 100% me. You know what I mean? And when people are messaging me regarding getting involved with the program, and you got to strike when the iron's hot, and that's part of the sacrifice of building. You know what I mean? Is basically working and being available at the odd hours. And that's how you get the sales that other people don't get. And it sucks, dude. Like my chick gives me shit sometimes, but at the same time, I'm like, look at how we're living right now. Like this is considerably different than where we were at a couple years ago, and this has a lot to do with why. You know what I mean? But I do really try to actually like unplug at certain points. Where whether we're sporting event or if we're sitting down watching a movie, unless it's something that's of immediate need, you know what I mean? Then it's like I'll deal with you later. I'll deal with you tomorrow morning. But if I have somebody that's like trying to get in and that's basically a sales on the line, then I'm working it, no matter what time it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get better at it too. It's something I've
It's
really
hard.
put at the forefront of my mind though. It
It's
is.
hard, bro. But it's like the way that I see it right now is like if I maintain this pace for let's just say another year or two, then I'm not going to have to do that really anymore because I'm going to scale to a point where I'm going to have, employees, I'm going to have help, and I can kind of take my hands off the reins, so to speak, and people are going to know that, hey, if you're coming in through this funnel or this avenue, you're going to deal with an assistant, you're going to basically deal with, somebody at this level, but once you're in, you're dealing with me exclusively. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's just climbing that ladder, bro. And right now it's just as much as I want to bring somebody in to do that per se, and I kind of have somebody in place for that in a sense, but it has nothing to do with Instagram. So like basically I have one of my clients who's now kind of running some of my messaging on the back end. But that's like once somebody either is already in, they're, a warm lead, hot lead. They've submitted an application. They're messaging basically in my, sales funnel, and she monitors those messages for me and sometimes responds as me. But same rules apply. Once they're signed up, once they're in, they're dealing with me exclusively. But Instagram all day, all night, every day is 100% me.
Yeah. You mind if I read something off your page that kind of stuck out to me?
Of course.
October 7th, life improved immensely when I stopped dragging myself down, when I got out of my own way, when I stopped living for the wrong things and wrong people and manned up for the right people. I created a life I don't want to escape from. Where'd that come from? Just from the heart, or?
Yeah, I mean, and it's true. You know what I mean? Like when I stopped living for the Friday nights and started living for every day, you know what I mean? Shit got better. When I stopped trying to prioritize what I was doing every fucking weekend and with who, and just focus on the people who were with me no matter what, like shit got better. When I prioritized myself over those individuals in that lifestyle, shit got better. You know what I mean? And it was just it was a chain reaction, dude. I saw really fast what life looks like when I do those things, where I basically pull back. I go almost into like a level of isolation, and I'm just like head down working on me. And it's me and my chick and my family, and that's all that fucking matters. You know what I mean? I don't care whose barbecue's going on Saturday. I don't care who's at the bar Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I've done enough of that. Like I needed change. You know what I mean? And I had to change everything about me. I had to change what time I got up. I had to change my routine. I had to change my mindset, and it all basically stemmed from that. You know what I mean? I had to cut the fucking dead weight out of my life.
Yeah, with that, I'm sure you had to cut a lot of people out of your life, like maybe even what at one point you considered to be close friends.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Like, I'm sure you've experienced it to an extent along your way too. But it's like, you want to find out who's really in your fucking corner. Get sober or reduce your attendance to extracurricular activities. Get in shape, start a business, start making money, and like see who's fucking really still rocking with you when you stop showing up, when you stop calling people. You know what I mean? And the people that love you regardless understand. They're like, hey, Brad's on a fucking warpath right now. Like, I respect it. You know what I mean? And the wrong people will be like, oh, that fool fucking thinks he's too good for us. Yeah, probably you're probably right. I am too good for you at this point because I'm done doing that shit. You know what I mean? And you're either fucking working with me or you're in my goddamn way. And it just came time to have some of those hard conversations and trim that fat.
Yeah, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that because it's not the easiest thing to do, but if you kind of have the mindset that you're talking about right now, where it's like, dude, if you're not with me, you're in the fucking way. It does make it easier, right? And I always spin it in a way where it's like, yo, I'm on my path, you're on your path. Your path doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong path. It's just
Right.
not the path that I'm going down, so you can't come. That's all it is.
Right. No, that's exactly it. You know what I mean? Like you're not right or wrong. We're on different wavelengths right now, and that's totally fine. But I'm going this way and you're going that way, and I ain't going that way. Like, it is what it is. Like, I still love a ton of my friends and people that I consider family, but I'm like, I ain't got time for that bullshit no more, dude. Like, I got 3 kids, a wife, and a business. Like I got 0 time to fuck off. Like I have to live the fuck on.
I'm sure you've experienced quite a bit of jealousy from people that you thought at one point were, you know, meant something to you in your life. Touch on that for me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, because it's, when I was getting started, right, and I'm getting on social media and starting to share and talk and put some of my stuff out there, I get it from people that I was really tight with. They're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you really think you could do this? It's like, yeah, bro. And like, even if it doesn't amount to anything, so what? Like, I fucking tried. And I ain't afraid. Like, I ain't afraid. I'm afraid of is not trying, is never trying, and just being like, what could have been. That's what I'm afraid of. And they talk shit and fucking put it down, like, oh, dude, you're gonna burn out. It ain't gonna amount to shit. And I'm like, that's fine, bro. I don't need your fucking support. Like, you've never bought anything from me anyway. I've never expected your financial support in any way, shape, or form. So what the fuck does your opinion mean now? And now, fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, where, I've got a large online presence. My fucking brand is known worldwide. I'm making, a pretty exuberant amount of money. And they're like, dude, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, fuck you, bro. Like, I don't need your shit. No
Mm-hmm.
fucking, I'll come over here with your saving graces fucking now. Like, you're out, bro. I'm like, I love you, peace, love, but I got no time for that shit. Same thing, dude. You're either on my fucking page and you got my back, or you're in my fucking way. And I don't. There's two things that's one thing I hate. I hate liars, and I hate two-faced motherfuckers. You either love every single thing about me, and you're my boy, my fucking brother, in every sense of the term, or you're an acquaintance.
Yeah, it's funny. I touched on this, I don't know, a month or two ago. Did a solo pod, and it's one of those things where when you're experiencing that jealousy from people that you thought were close to you, it it, it is so strange to me because for me, when I look at what my friends are doing, I want them to just absolutely crush in every sense of
Sure.
the term, like you said. Like go out and make buco dollars,
Yeah.
go get the promotion, go build your business, all of that. Because I don't want my fucking friends to be losers. I don't want
No.
them to fail. Because
No.
that's my circle, dude.
For sure. And much like you were saying before, if you're the smartest guy, wealthiest guy in the room, you need to put yourself in another room, and I want the same for all my friends, all the people in my life that are out there making moves for themselves. I'm like, bro, I want you to smash this shit. You know what I mean? I want you to smash it harder than I'm smashing it right now. And I'll help you. I'll help you do it in any way that I can. And that's been a super amazing part of this journey too, is like, two of my buddies, Taylor Thrasher and Jimmy Queen, who kind of, in a sense, worked with me as a mentor. Like, I taught them some of the things that I do and how I do it, and now they're running successful online businesses themselves. Like, it's super awesome to see. Never once am I like jealous. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck you, I made you. Like, that shit's weak as fuck. Like, I want to enjoy everything we've done and we've built together, and I want to continue to build shit together. You know what I mean? And we've made a pretty profound amount of noise when the three of us get together and do shit. So it's like, let's continue to do it, bro. Let's shake the cage, because we are not your typical fucking online fitness influencer. We are blue collar, tatted up, family, sober, God. We are everything all these motherfuckers aren't. So let's show the world what the everyday dude is about when he decides to be a solid motherfucker.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. I really enjoy your style. And I read that quote to you that you posted in October on your page, because there is not a lot of people that can say that about their own lives. Like, not a lot at all. So for you to just get on the gram and type that out and press send without even probably thinking twice about it, not only is that awesome for you, but somebody might read that, or somebody might listen to this podcast as we're talking about it and be like, fuck, I want that. I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to feel that way. It's so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and that's been a big thing of it, man, is just being very transparent and honest about the things that I've experienced and transitioned through in my life. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not alone in the things that I wanted for myself. I know I'm not alone in the goals that I've accomplished or want to accomplish. And and what I tell some of the people that I work with, the coaches, and even my clients, I'm like, bro, your way out is somebody else's way through. You know what I mean? So you have to fucking share your story. You have to share those troubles, because you obviously figured out a way through it all, to a degree, right? And there's a lot of fucking people who are hung up and they're still caught in it. And your message, your experience, your story is going to help them through. So speak up.
Yeah. And I always tell my clients that, dude, it's like, I don't know fucking everything, but I have a lot of life experience. I've made a shit ton of mistakes.
Yep.
I've learned from those mistakes. I have a lot to offer, but like, I do not know everything, dude, like one single bit. Like
For sure.
as much as, you know, you're going to learn from me, dude, I'm learning from you too, right? Like I take a piece from every single one of my guys, every one of them. And I don't know, I think sometimes they have a hard time believing that, especially when they first start out. But I'm like, this is for real, man. Like I'm taking it just as much as you're choosing to work with me. Like I'm choosing you too. You have to understand that. This isn't, hey, just fill out the form and you're good to go. Fuck that. I want to
Right.
work with the guys that I'm looking to learn from as well.
For sure. And that's been a major part of it too. Is like, you have to, you can't get hung up in all the analytical bullshit. You just have to kind of go. You know what I mean? And a lot of my business was built in obviously trial and error. And a high level of personal application over book knowledge. You know what I mean? And it's just like, well, where does this stem from? What certificate do you have? I'm like, I don't need a certificate, motherfucker. I do this shit every day. Like I literally live this. Like I know it works. Like I don't need a piece of paper telling me what I do and know and what I don't know. Like I practice it every day, you know, and it's some people sit around and they need everything to be perfect before they can take action. And dude, you need to be impatient with action and build as you go. You know, it's everything is, you know, I'm still building. I'm still learning. Like I'm still changing a bunch of shit weekly, monthly. I've never sat back and be like, fuck, I got it all figured out now, dude. It's on fucking autopilot. It's like I'm constantly changing workouts, programs, nutrition, meal plans, scheduling. Like it's never ending, and that's kind of how you have to be in a sense is you have to be a forever student. You have to be willing to learn. And for those that do think they know it all and they think that they're at the top of their class, like go get fucking humbled, bro. Like go learn from somebody who knows more than you. And that's something that I'm like searching for a little bit too, is like, yeah, I've dealt with other types of mentors, business and this and that. And it's like, now I need somebody who can teach me some more fitness stuff. Cause I want to get more schooled up on that shit too. Like obviously I have a remedy, I have a solution, I have stuff that works, but I want to know more. Like I want to learn more. Like I want to be able to give my clients the best possible fucking service that I can. And what does that come from? It comes from fucking learning and expanding, and continuing to invest in myself and my business just the way that my clients invest in themselves to get involved with me. You know, it's a fucking circle, bro. You're only gonna grow if you
Yeah,
push yourself to grow.
yeah, because as soon as you stop being that student or you think you got it all figured out, a couple things are going to happen. You're going to plateau or you just straight up die, man. Like at the moment you start learning, it's over for you. Like if you think you got this shit never fucking ends.
No,
Ever. Ever. It doesn't end until it ends if you're kind of catching what I'm putting down, but
100%.
I see that a lot. Oh man, we made it. Oh man, I just bought this. It's like you still got to go, man, because there's always somebody rolling and trying for your spot,
For
no matter
sure.
what it is, really.
Yeah, and that's been a
So
big driver, for some of the shit that I do. It's like, like there I have this almost like imaginary race going on in my head. Like every time I like get up a little bit later or I push something off, I'm like, well, that motherfucker went and did it and he's ahead of me now. So shit, like, you know, I gotta get back in first place. You know what I mean? And it just comes down to that level of negotiation with self, accepting that lesser form, or always striving to put everything on the table that you can.
yeah, I like that too because I'm in the I kind of look at us in two different boats. For you, I feel like you need to stay up front. I'm the guy that's still chasing it, right? Like I'm trying to get up there. So that's kind of how I look at it. It's like there's not many people catching me right now, but I need to catch those people and then hopefully be the one that they're trying to catch. Not hopefully because I will be, but um, I think there's two different stages to it, but it's cool. We
Oh yeah.
both kind of think the same way in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, it's dude, it's just like training out. are, it's just like training, bro. Like we go through cutting
Hmm.
phases, maintenance phases, bulking phases, you know what I mean? So, you analyze these periods in your year, in your life, where it's like, all right, time to cut the fat, remove the unnecessary. And then, hey, I've had a lot going on over this last quarter. I'm gonna just kind of maintain here for the next couple months. And then you go into a growth phase where it's like you're going to events, you're networking, you're investing more money than you've spent all year on things, so you can learn, so you can grow. You know, that's why I tell people, I'm like, dude, there's so much that transpires from like gym training, eating lifestyle into life, that it's like, you got, if you have this figured out, if you can go through some of the mundane self work every fucking day, then it's like you can apply that into your everyday life and you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to your what we were talking about with earning your coffee, right? Go get that first W. Drop down, hit the floor,
Yeah.
then have your coffee. But you already got the dub. It's a
Yeah.
great start to the day, man.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
So social media is funny, right? So you and I, we can get on and we can show everybody whatever we want them to see, right? And usually it's all the highlights, right? Like for me, a lot of my audience, they're in, we're out west, so you go kill the big deer, you go get your elk or this, that, and the third, right? That's what a lot of my people are super into, along with fitness and stuff like that. But basically, what I'm trying to say is I can show them whatever I want, right? I can show them all the good stuff. So can you? So I say that to ask you this: is there anything in your life that you're struggling with currently? Because so you got a successful business, you got a nice wife, got two, three kids, got a little money in your pocket. Everybody sees that.
Mhm.
But is there anything that you're personally struggling with, maybe business wise or relationship wise or just in general?
I mean, yeah, dude, because I mean, everybody talks about, and it goes back to kind of what we were talking about with social media, that balancing act. You know what I mean? And balance doesn't really exist, for those who are really out there trying to get it and trying to build. It's just you're fucking go 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 go. And I do need to, kind of pump the brakes on either whether certain days or certain times of the day, and be like, okay, putting my fucking dad hat on, and we're going outside and we're playing ball, or we're sitting down and we're doing homework, you know what I mean, or I'm spending some alone time with my daughter, you know what I mean. But it's fucking hard, dude. It's hard fucking trying to navigate everything and be on top of everything and still be a good dad. And I'm not saying that I'm a bad father by any means, but I could definitely make some improvements in that department. You know what I mean? Because with obviously business and work and building and the gym and everything like that, like, yeah, there is a level of stress that goes into making everything work. Building out a gym, maintaining a client base, maintaining a social media presence. Still trying to make sure all the bills are coming in and the shit's getting taken care of, and then at the end of the day, going home and cooking dinner, being dad, and not like snapping on my 9-year-old son for something stupid. You know what I mean? And and I do it, and it's hard, and every time I do it, I'm like, fuck, like I'm such a fucking asshole, but I'm human, bro. Like I still make mistakes every fucking day. But the difference between me and most people is I'm working to correct those mistakes, versus just accepting them as who I am.
Yeah, or just completely thrown under the wayside. Right? Like, to me, that takes a man to essentially what you're saying is maybe be a tad bit more present. And when it's time to be the CEO, which you're really fucking good at. But when it's time to be dad, put the dad hat on, like you said, and be dad 100%, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Just create a little bit more of a hard line there. Like put that fucking phone down, close a laptop, and the evening is now reserved for the families, or the children, and it's tough, dude. It's hard, but because I'm constantly, my brain is racing on like what I need to do next, what I need to step into, or what I need to take on or take care of. So it's hard for me to turn it off, and that's what I really need to work on is turning it off. You know what I mean, and stepping away.
I know you know what I'm about to say, or like I know you know how I feel regarding what I'm about to say to you, but I get this a lot, right? Where, let's say that you're still on the FD or, I used to be LEO. So you're going in every day, you're punching the time clock, you get your 2 weeks off of PTO, whatever it is. Well, when you create a business and you're the CEO, everyone's like, "Oh man, you must have it made. You got all this free time. You can go hunt when you want, Tyler. Or you can do whatever you want. I don't know if you surf, skateboard, whatever, ride bikes, whatever it is that you're freaking into." I was like, "Man, you got so much time. You can go do whatever the fuck you want. Be your own boss." And I just laugh. I just laugh. I'm like, "You motherfuckers have no idea. I've hunted less this year than I've ever hunted in my life.
Yeah.
Zero time, dog. Zero."
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. A lot of people think that. They think that I just like can fuck off all day every day and I'm like, "Bro, I've never worked harder in my entire life than I have on my own business." You know what I mean? Like at least with the fucking when I was still with the department, I was like working when I was off, I was off. Like I didn't have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about fucking answering no phone call. I didn't have to worry about, jumping on the truck when the bell rang. You know what I mean? Like I was fucking home. You know what I mean? And I wasn't necessarily dealing with anybody outside of that. And now it's like there is no off button. It's like, there is no days off, bro. I work fucking 7 days a week. You know what I mean? And if I get time off, it's like an hour or two, or it's like the evening. You know what I mean? Like where okay, now it's like 7:30, 8:30 at night. Like phone's done. Like dude, there has not been a single day where I stepped away for a whole day since I started this fucking thing. Like I can't. It's my, just like my wife and we have the baby. The baby's her baby. My business is my baby. You know what I mean? It always needs constant attention to some degree. There's always something that needs to be worked on or tended to.
Saturdays and Sundays aren't what they used to be, are they?
Fuck no, dude. No. I used to be able to just
Not even
unplug
close.
mentally all day, Saturday and Sunday, or if I had weekends off. And now it's like I'm still going, still on social media, still messaging clients, still building programs, still doing this whole thing. I do my client call first thing Sunday morning at 8 a.m. You know what I mean? From 8 to basically 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I do that Sunday morning. And then it's like, okay, spent 2 hours, talking with my clients face to face. Now it's like I have to go back into the system and adjust any of their stuff, whether it's their nutrition, their training, any of the things they brought up in the meeting, and then get back to social media. I haven't been on social media all morning. Now I got to go answer a bunch of DMs and hopefully make a few sales. Oh wait, it's fucking lunchtime and I haven't even fucking said good morning to my kids yet because I've been so tied up with this shit. Like it's never ending, bro. But it is what it is. It's a trade. Like there's people that will never sacrifice stuff like that, or at least it's not forever to either. It's gonna probably like be a specific period of time before I either hire someone to step in some of those roles for me, so I can have a little bit of my life back. But it's you will sacrifice in order to build, and the people that don't sacrifice will never build a large brand or a successful business because they're like, oh, I'll never give that up. And I'm like, did growth, success takes sacrifice. You can't have one without the other. It's just what are you willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to go?
Yeah, 1,000%. Let's talk about this real quick, and I'll get you out of here in a few, man. But when I get on these calls with these guys, right, and they're just stuck in this rut. Excuse me, hang on a sec.
Yeah.
They might be stuck in this rut, and they just don't have any time. It's like, okay, I know you got a wife, I know you got kids, right? We all do for the most part, and it's one of those things where, like, dude, you don't have 30 to 60 minutes for yourself. Like you got to have that 30 to 60 minutes for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You own the morning. The morning, if you get the fuck up out of bed, how we touched on, that is your time. Get up before everybody else. That is your time. And a lot of people that I've noticed, and these are guys that I don't want to work with, they consider that to almost be selfish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta provide for her, I gotta provide for my kids. It's like, absolutely you do, but you need to have that time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that time for yourself, you're not going to be able to be a better husband. You're not going to be able to be a better dad. You're not going to be able to be a good coworker, son, etc. And I know you deal with that sometimes too on your calls as well, but what's your perspective on that mentality?
I mean, I agree the same. I'm like, if you can't show up for yourself, you're not going to be able to show up for anybody else to your highest potential. You know, you're only gonna if you put everybody above you, you're only going to be able to do that for so long before you get lost. You know, and I've had that happen. That's a large percentage of a lot of the men in my client base. They're like, dude, I fucking, you know, take care of my family. I go to work every day. I've basically completely neglected myself for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I need to prioritize myself again. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Everybody needs to. You know what I mean? You need to build that routine back. You need to get that fire back in you. You know, you need to segment some time out of your day to work on yourself physically, mentally, so that you can be a good father, a good husband, a good example, you know. And time, you know, yeah, it's a big constraint for a lot of people, but dude, you don't need a shit ton of time to be successful in these areas. You know, you broke it down 30 minutes, dude. You can do a 30-minute workout that's super impactful to your level of physical fitness and your mood. You know what I mean? Like, I get fucking straight angry if I don't get a workout in. Like, I have to move. I have to physically exert,
Same.
you know, or I'm just pent up. And I know, once again, I'm probably not alone there. And a lot of these motherfuckers don't know that they could probably feel a lot better and have a lot better of a day if they just went and exerted some energy in a way that is only going to benefit you in a positive way. You know, when I learned that I could take all of my demons, so to say, all of my negative energy and fucking go to war with myself every day in the gym for 30, 60, 90 minutes, then I was a lot better person on the other end. You know what I mean? But when I was taking all that negative energy and putting it into everything I did, it was fucking consuming my life.
I'm right there with you. My wife will hit me sometimes. She'll be like, "Did you work out today?" No, which very rarely ever happens, right? But even on on a day where I'm like just completely broke off and I might get up, do some red light and just stretch out and know that I'm not gonna move anything today, right? I'm not gonna hit any weights or nothing. She's like, "Did you lift today?" No,
Yeah.
I can tell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. Is like, you know, once you kind of get into same thing. Once you kind of get into that rhythm, you know, training is in a sense one of the highlights of your day because that's when you feel the best, you feel the most accomplished. It's hard to turn that off too. You know what I mean? And like take that rest time, take those days where it's, you know, this is a recovery day. Like I'm getting a little extra sleep. I'm gonna focus on, you know, maybe some stretching, you know, or if you have access, sauna, cold plunge, stuff like that. But you know, it's hard not to go bang weights every day because I love that feeling too. But my body's like, I've been doing it for, you know, 6 7 days a week now for a few years, and my body's like, fucking stop, bro. Like, you
Hmm.
know, go drop down.
Yep.
Like, I'm basically gonna be dropping down to like a 4 day lifting schedule, and then 2 days of very active recovery, stretching, etc. Just to, you know, promote my longevity in this, you know, and remain an athlete, remain somebody capable, and not just be, you know, a broken bodybuilder.
Yeah. I don't know everything that your programs entail, and obviously you don't know what mine entail either. But I have a feeling that we're similar in the way where I tell my guys, it's like, dude, you know, this is not just all about deadlifting big weight and eating chicken breasts.
Yep.
This is more lifestyle and mindset training as well, right? And I was giving some constructive criticism to one of my young bulls last night on a call, and I'm like, eventually this is just going to become part of your life, right? What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? I was like, you're going to drink your coffee and you're going to go take a shit, right? You don't even think about it. He
Yeah.
goes, exactly. And I was like, well, exactly. That gym is now going to be part of that, where it's not, maybe I'll go today, or I'm a little bit sore. No, fuck that. That's a part of your routine, right? You're gonna brush your teeth, get your coffee, take your shit, right? At noon, you're gonna eat lunch. These are things that you do every single day, and the gym needs to be a part of that. And it takes work, it takes time. We've both been doing this for years and years and years, and this shit did not happen in 3 months, correct? So, just part of that little mindset piece that guys eventually, if they stay the path, will get a hold of.
For sure. And I very much the same way, dude. Most of my people that come in initially, I put them on a 6 day a week training schedule, and just to build that habit. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I don't care if you make it through the whole workout or half the workout, but you're going. You know what I mean? And Sunday,
Show up.
unless agreed upon otherwise, is kind of like your universal rest day. And you're going to train 6 days a week for easily the next couple months, unless you absolutely cannot. And that's going to build a habit, and it does just that. And because I even get some of my guys who have been with me a little bit longer, and same thing, I kind of tone it down. I'm like, hey, we're gonna basically turn down frequency and turn up intensity. And now same thing, you're on a 4 or 5 day schedule, and we're going to focus more on training smart, training mature. And then they're like, dude, I don't even know what to do with myself on these days I'm not supposed to go to the gym. And I'm like, see, habit, we built it. You know what I mean? You want to go to the gym, you want to train. Whereas like a lot of the people coming in, it's a fight to get them to go to the gym for those 6 days. And now these people, they love it so much. It's part of their lifestyle. It's part of their persona. It's everything they love, they enjoy, because they know they reap the reward of what the work has brought them. And they're like, I don't know what to do without it.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad, that means it's working, brother.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it works. It works just fine. I know it's tough, but it's supposed to be tough, man. I mean, the first couple months are like, it's in the way that I program. It's meant to break you off. It's meant to challenge you.
Yep.
This is not Burger King. I don't build you a custom program that's like to your liking. It's like you're here to change, and change is found in everything that you have not done before. So you're going to go to the gym 6 days a week. You're going to train fucking hard. You're going to eat this way. You're probably going to be in a calorie deficit, because most people come to my program to lose weight. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to thank yourself for riding it out in a few weeks, few months, because it's going to change you physically and mentally. And that's what you came here to do.
I like your fucking style, dog.
Thank you, bro.
Listen, man, I want to be respectful. I know we were between an hour and two. I feel like that's a pretty good place to kind of cut it off, unless you got anything else on your heart.
Dude, I'm good, bro. I appreciate the time and everything. It was fun, and thank you. And hopefully we can do something again. If you ever find your way out to California, cruise through, man. Feel free to stop by, and we could shoot one in person.
My man, that'd be gangster. That'd be really fun. I want to see everybody win, man. Where can people find you if they're looking to work with you instead of me? Send it, man. What you got?
So Instagram is my powerhouse platform. So that's at reliant.fitness, TikTok reliant.fit, YouTube I think is just Reliant Fitness. Instagram's going to be the easiest place to get a hold of me. Like if you just drop me a DM or whatever. So Instagram's probably the best spot. But all three, any one of them, a follow, subscription is totally welcome, and appreciate the support.
Baller. Oh, I almost forgot, dude. So you got a feel for the show now. I know you've done some podcasts, but you got to know me a little bit over the past hour. Give me 3 people that you feel like would be a good fit for the podcast for me to talk to.
Oof. Okay. Shit. Man.
Yes, I'm putting you on the
I've seen
spot.
your page, dude. You've got some pretty big people that have come across your platform, so that's super fucking rad. Let me see.
Thanks, brother.
I know. So you're into hunting. Dude, I would hit up. So if you follow, I think it's Aaron or Eric Dregovich, basically Blue Collar Brawler on Instagram.
That sounds really familiar. I might.
Yeah. So he's
Okay.
a super cool dude out of Florida, and he basically specializes. He's a hunter too, and he specializes in some gator wrangling, and
That's the fucking guy. Yeah. Yep.
yeah. He seems like I've been chatting with him loosely on Instagram for a little bit now. Super awesome dude. Heavily involved in some really cool projects that are really really benefiting some of our citizens of the state, especially with everything that's been going on in the last couple months. Who else? My boy, I would say either one of my boys, Jimmy or Taylor. They're both good dudes from simple humble beginnings with a good story. And then let me think of another one that would be super fun. Trying to think, fire, law enforcement. somebody who's kind of in the same niche. Um, Dude, what is it? God, why am I drawing a blank right now? Shit. I'm sorry.
You're
uh,
good. This
I'm
this
trying to think.
happens every week when I do this at the end.
Trying to think of somebody who would fit that realm really well, who's kind of outside the normal fitness influencer, but would still be a very good listen and story. Who's that fucking gnarly CrossFit guy? Fucking that always oh dude, Jake Bostwick. So he's another guy that I've kind of been chatting
Okay.
it up with. He's a bare knuckle fighter from London, and he lives in Miami right now. And he's a super cool dude. Fucking has some sick ass videos on his page of him bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle fighting, and just super down to earth cat that I've been chatting with online, and I would love to connect with him. So it'd be cool to see him on the podcast too.
Oh man, good deal. I appreciate you, man. If you'll do me a solid and just stay on Riverside just so we can get your file uploaded, and I'll let you slide, Brad.
Of course,
Thanks, brother.
no worries, my pleasure, man.